This video is brought to you by Nate Productions. Hello everyone and welcome back to another tutorial. During this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to move objects using the mouse. So in the previous tutorial, I showed you how you can spawn objects at the mouse location. And during the tutorial, I'll be showing you how you can move these objects around using the other click. So I'm able to spawn objects using the left button of my mouse, and using the right, I'm able to move them around, such as this. And when I let go, they just let go there. And it's important to note that when I try and place this on top of another object such as this, you'll see that it will return to the initial position, as it will cause some errors or some unwanted behavior. So let's get to it. First of all, I changed some stuff for my object here, which is within the resources folder here, as you can see, and I'm able to get this in my script using the resources.load. And in this sphere, I have the mesh filter, the renderer, which every sphere has, and a collider. And in addition, I made this script, which is called Movable script, and it's responsible for moving the sphere while I'm holding down the click. In addition, I set this to be of tag movable, which I made by using the add tag and then adding this by pressing the plus icon here and naming this movable. So that's all for the sphere. So let's open this script up, and what exactly this script is doing. It has three variables. One is the selected, which is set to true if the I'm clicking on the sphere. So when the user clicks on it, this turns to true. Otherwise, it's false. Then we have the starting position, which is the position before the user clicked on it. And then we have the collider, which is responsible for capturing the collisions. Then I'm getting the collider here, setting the selected false and the starting position to the current transform position. Then in the update function, I have the if select. So if this is selected by the user, I am throwing a raycast and then calling the camera to mouse ray, which is a function I made on the script that we had in the previous tutorial, and I'll be showing you that in just a minute, which is essentially casting a ray on the view. So this is the script that we had before. This is the function that I'm referring to, and it's a static boolean, which is having the raycast hit parameter passed in with an out, so it will be able to return to the same memory and essentially populate the values with this variable here. And what this is doing is casting a ray from the screen, from the camera to the point that the mouse position is at, and then returning the physics raycast. So I'm casting a raycast and then returning the result of this as a function, and this will turn true if it hit something and false if it didn't. And I'm passing in the ray that we have here, which is an infinite line, essentially from 2 points, and it's from the camera to the mouse position that I've explained during the last tutorial, but I'll just go through it again. And then we have the out raycast, which will get the values from this function. So if it hits something, it will give us some information through this variable for the collision that occurred, well, for the detection that occurred into the collider. And okay, so if this is true, it means that it hit something, and then we only set the transfer position of the sphere to the raycast point, which is the location that the raycast hit something, and just adding the scale of this so it's above the ground. Otherwise, it will be within the ground that we hit or the collider that we hit, and we don't want that. So this ensures that this is not colliding within the ground or the object that we hit with the raycast. And then we have the set selected function, which essentially changes the selected to if it's true, it will change it to false, and vice versa. If it's false, it will turn it to true. And then if the selected is false, it means that I deselected it, so I released the mouse, and then I will check if the uh, sphere and the position that I've left the mouse has a collider there using the physics check sphere, and I'm passing in the position, so this will be the center, and then the radius, and I'm passing in the scale of the y. It doesn't matter which scale I pass, as my sphere is 1 1 1 on the scale on all axes, and then I'm dividing this to 2.1, and this is point 1 is to ensure that we don't get messed up with the decimals, so this provides some consistency over our function. And essentially, if there is a collider there at the ray, for example, when I was trying to place it on top of my cylinder here, it was detecting some collision, so this prevented me from actually dropping it there, and then it resetted the position to the starting position. Otherwise, if this is false, it means that there is no collider there, and it means that we are free to set the starting position to the current position, and it will just be released there. And then I will disable or enable the collider depending on the current status. So this is responsible for essentially when I'm moving the sphere around, I don't want to collide it with other objects within the scene, as it might cause problems. So while I'm dragging it around, I want this to be off, so no collisions while dragging it around. And then I set this to true once I disable it. It's important to note that if this was true, so the collider was unaffected and it remained true, the check sphere will always find a collider, as the transform position has a collider there by its own sphere, so it will detect its own collider. So it's important to note that, and there is a way to get around it. I suggest you go to the documentation of Unity to check it out using the layer essentially, if you didn't want to disable the collider, but I won't be covering that now. So just to demonstrate again what we're doing here, I'm just moving it around, placing it whatever wherever essentially, as you can see here, and I'm only able to move these spheres. I cannot move anything else because they have the tag of movable. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe for more content, and thank you for watching. Goodbye. Want to become a professional game developer? I designed the ultimate game development course that will teach you everything you need to make your own top quality games, with over 20 hours of content and 100 lectures at your disposal. Make sure to check the link in the description for more information.